Whenever you're like ready to make a change in your life, you divorce those things that don't serve you anymore, that have been harmful to you, that have been destructive to you, that have been toxic. You divorce, you guys, you divorce those things from your life. And that's exactly what I'm doing, right? Now, I know that there's going to be a few different perspectives about what I'm doing, and depending on your perspective is how it's really going to hit you, right? There's going to be the people who understand completely, right? Because they have been through a similar thing. You're going to find yourself in my story. You're going to be like, yeah, I totally see why she's doing that. You know what I'm saying? Some of you are going to be that way about it. Then there's going to be people who may not have those types of relationships. Maybe they don't have a father figure. They never had him. They never knew him. They've always craved to have him. Maybe he passed away at a young age or something like that. Or maybe your mother, it may be your mother or whatever. And that person passed away at a young age. And all you can really think about is, if I had that person in my life, there's no way I would be divorcing them from my life. And so you may come from that perspective and not truly understand why I'm doing what I'm doing, right? Then there's, this group of people that believe that, through forgiveness, you should maintain these relationships. Like, you should forgive and forget and just keep moving on with these relationships because life is short. That's your family. There's a whole bunch of reasons, right? People, like, the reasons are like endless of why people feel like you should maintain relationships that are harmful to you or not helping you. That's just a few examples of people who will be looking at my story and listening to my story from their own perspective, right? So I want to encourage you to not allow your perspective, your worldview to really get in the way of what is truly happening in this situation, right? I want you to be objective. I want you to be discerning about this situation. And that's really the whole point, right? That's the point of why I'm doing this publicly, because I want what I'm doing, right, to teach something, right? I want you to get something out of it. I want you to be enriched by this experience. And a couple of things can happen from this experience. You can possibly realize that you're not alone, right? And you're like, okay, yeah, so she had to do the same thing. She had to divorce her, you know what I'm saying? She had to divorce her dad. She had to divorce this organization. She had to divorce her church. She had to divorce her job, whatever it could be. And so you'll realize that you're not alone. And so you'll feel like you have a safe space. You feel like you have a tribe. You have a community of people who understand. Then there are people who will be very harsh about this situation and judge it based on their perspective. And they'll be totally against what I'm doing, right? And then there's another group of people who will objectively look at the situation, and maybe they don't understand from their own perspective, like they may not choose to do it, right? But they totally understand how in certain situations that certain actions are necessary for that person's well-being, right? So you'll have those types of situations. Now, some people will do the same thing, right? They'll do the same thing that I'm doing, right? They'll realize, hey, this is what's best for me, and then I'm gonna cut it off. And then, what was I about to say? And then there are some people who will look at my story and they'll say, you know what I experienced wasn't bad. Maybe I was a bit hasty in my judgment of this situation or this person. Maybe there is hope for this relationship. And so in order for me to be able to move forward with the relationship and not have to divorce myself from this person, place, or thing, then now I have the tools, I have the discernment, I have the critical thinking skills to be able to make a decision that is best for me because I have considered the whole situation. You see what I'm saying? And so my objective is for you to be able to make the decision that you need to make, use the discernment lessons to enrich your own discernment in your life, what in relationships around you, because our discernment doesn't just work for us, right? It works for people who trust us, who look to us for guidance.